Burnout is real, and it is easy to get burnt out when you are going through transition and have not set boundaries for yourself. In this video, I'll be discussing 3 key points in making sure that you're setting boundaries as you go through a life transition. I feel like I've been hearing the word boundaries everywhere lately, whether it be at work, at church, with my friends. It keeps coming up in conversations, and I realize it's something that we're all struggling with. I'm currently going through a transition now, and I realize that as I'm preparing for this next phase of life, I'm really busy and tired and have had to figure out what my boundaries are in order to maintain my emotional well-being. And I realize it's necessary to set boundaries. We need to set boundaries. It's not that I want to set boundaries for myself. I have to set boundaries for myself, because the reality is that if you don't set boundaries, your emotional and physical health will eventually be affected. So it's important to, number 1, know your limitations. And part of that is a lot of self-reflection. We oftentimes are in autopilot and don't necessarily take the time to sit and think, what do I need? What does my family need? In order of priority, am I taking care of the different areas of wellness that are necessary to make sure that I am okay? How does this boundary that I may need to set for myself affect other areas of my life? So knowing what your limitations are is really one of the first things that is important in setting boundaries. The other thing is being able to say no. And that comes hard to some people, especially if you're a people pleaser. It can be hard to tell someone no, especially if it's someone that you care about. This is a discussion I just had with a group of my friends the other day. It can be hard to say no, especially when you know that what they're asking you is not something bad. But if it is pushing you to your limits in terms of exhaustion, if you're losing sleep on account of it, if you're missing out on something that's important to you in order to please someone else, then sometimes it is important and okay to say no. So practice with me. No. And then when you say no, being okay with the fact that you said no, because the other thing that happens is then we live with guilt. We end up feeling bad, and then we're still not at peace and we're still not resting because we said no, but now we're unsettled. And so understanding the reasons why you say no, being okay with the reason why you set a boundary with a person or situation in your life, and trusting your instincts is really important. And although we can be wrong in our own thoughts, if we are putting God first and are trusting that God is helping us with our decision making and with our boundary setting, we can ask God to give us the peace to know when to say no, to know when we need to set a boundary and say, this is not okay for me or my family. So knowing your limitations, being able to say no, and being comfortable with saying no are really important. If you struggle in these areas, I encourage you to not only seek God, but as I've said before, seek therapy. Because if you're not able to maintain healthy boundaries for yourself and for your family, your emotional well-being and your physical well-being will suffer. I hope you found this video helpful. Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. Have a great day.